It's before dawn on a cold winter morning in Boston. The streets are dark, but inside thousands of students are awake, getting ready for a long day ahead. In the Brewington house, Jania and Jaden are having breakfast.
I wake up at 5, have a half hour before I go get him.
10 years ago, in METCO's 50th year, Chronicle set out to explore the lives of METCO students.
Probably the best part for me is just like experiencing a whole other life than like yours back home.
That was then, and this is now.
I'm Jania Brewington. I graduated from Wayland in 2017.
After attending Simmons College, Jania went into nursing. She currently works in the medical ICU at Children's Hospital in Boston.
I knew I wanted to do medicine. I knew I wanted to be a nurse, but I feel like I had no idea that I'd be working in like one of the best hospitals in this city.
When she reflected on her METCO experience in 2017, Jania spoke of her ability to move between cultures.
Because when you have two worlds like that, you have to figure out who you're gonna be in them.
It is a skill that has stayed with her.
100%. I think that I'm able to be successful as a nurse because I can talk to so many different kinds of people. I think I've learned how to get people to trust me and allow me to take care of them in the best way I can from developing those skills so early on in my life.
Many METCO students say they feel like visitors in the towns where they attend school. But then there's this vision of what could be at the Kimiati House in Wellesley. During our visit, it was hard to tell who actually lived here. Ninth graders Teddy Kimiati and Clarence Bly have been buddies since kindergarten.
The first person I met was Teddy. We kind of clicked because we had so much in common, and I enjoyed coming over and doing the same thing that I would do at home.
I remember the first Wednesday that he came over, we just played in the basement and hung out. I feel METCO just brings everyone together, like we're just like a big family of friends here.
Many host towns try to connect Boston students with a local family to help ease the travel burden for METCO students. Clarence and Teddy met through Wellesley's Family Friends program. That was then. This is now.
Brings back a lot of memories, man, the fun times we had.
You know, I don't think I've been in here maybe once or twice since graduating, and like Clarence said, the memories, the friendships.
A lot has changed in 10 years. New friends made and others sadly lost. But the roots of this friendship hold strong.
You know, Clarence and I went through so many core memories from kindergarten to the graduation of high school. And so when I look back, it's something that I cherish as, you know, a major part of my childhood.
Let you know that somebody's like there. I don't know, like you're not alone and you still got your people from way back when.
Time gives space for reflection. Asked if he would change anything about his METCO experience, Clarence grew thoughtful.
One big thing that stuck with me is not listening to what other people think and going with your gut, because I had a hard time with that in high school in the METCO program. I wanted to be a part of something, but I was always judged and told differently, like, nah, you can't do that with him, bro. You can't go over there with them because then they gonna look at you differently, you know what I'm saying?
I've met a lot of people over the years that really don't know the value of, I guess, difference. But at the end of the day, it's more of how you're treating someone.
From boys to men, united by a shared experience and a road walked together.
Right now I'm working on becoming a police officer, so hopefully I could be the next Boston PD out there.
I don't think I'm gonna get married in 10 years, I think it's be sooner, but this guy would be someone that is my first choice to be a best man. Like, that's the relationship.
Back at Wayland High School, we find METCO academic liaison Mark Lydell. He's co-teaching a course for seniors on racism and supporting METCO students just as he was when we first met him 10 years ago.
I'm part guidance counselor, part psychologist, and some students even consider me their parent away from home.
He has seen many METCO students thrive with access to the same quality instruction and resources as their suburban peers. But he knows it doesn't always translate into equal success after graduation.
I have seen some challenges around students paying for universities once they leave here. That remains to be one of the big hurdles that I've got to help my students overcome, and it's becoming increasingly more difficult with the higher cost of education.
Fortunately, these kids are also trained in handling adversity.
My students take a trek from Boston to the burbs daily, and all the excitement and challenges that brings to education. But I see him every day coming back with some effervescence, energy, and zeal for learning that is really amazing.
Well, it is indeed. And Jonathan Bernard Nicholas, he was one of the Wellesley METCO students we featured in 2017. He did pass away from an illness in January of 2026.
And his celebration of life service brought together, as you might imagine, people from both the Boston and Wellesley communities. We want to give a special shout out as well to former Chronicle producer Amy Masters, who produced the New England Emmy Award-winning program METCO at 50. That was a decade ago, and some of that material you saw in that piece. Good to be able to catch up with those guys after a while.
Indeed.
You know?